Yeah, and I'm gonna play the intro real quick. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know we live, y'all. I know we live. Yo, what's good, boss?
Good morning, Uncle Freezie. In the easy salute, Nick Nation. Thank you once again for joining us on this glorious Sunday as we take this journey, old school Knicks and beyond. So, Freezie,
Yo.
what's good, great Uncle Freezie?
Obi Toppin is a bust.
Before I let you percolate my nerves with with some of your nonsense, and I want to harken back to your use of the adjective. I had to go in my dictionary this morning of the word great, of an
Okay.
extent, amount or intensity considerable above normal or average.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
Ability, quality, or immense considerable above normal or average.
Right.
Does that sound like your number 30, Julius Randle?
Oh man, please, come on, bro. Come
Oh,
on,
by the
man.
way, fans, by the way, fans, while Freezy ponders that, I had to light my stogie this morning, and the reason being,
You are celebrating.
Nick's season is officially over. So
Yeah.
while so while Juliet Randle was getting thrown out of the game,
Come on, man.
you know, some guy with an afro, I can't even remember his name because I didn't watch the game. But I caught the
Right.
highlights. Was sinking a
Right.
three to officially sink the season, sir. So I think it's only
Yeah.
right we start there.
Yo, what it is the reason why Randall got thrown out of the game is because they wanted to spread the ball and play finesse. They wanted to finesse us, right? But Randall and Mitchell Robinson were playing physical, and they couldn't take it. They couldn't take the tough physical style of the Knicks. They were like, "Why y'all playing this hard?" And y'all records say that y'all losers. But some people just have heart, bro. That's what it is. When they get out there, they care, right? Right. That right. The lineage of their team, the lineage of their team comes from tough physical play, and they living up to that. But Phoenix didn't like it. The man, AD, how would you like it if a man just walked up to you and pushed you in the back?
One, I definitely would
You
not.
would get you would get ejected from the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna get ejected from the game that pays me $117 million for my team that's scrapping for its life to go to the play-in game, to go to the playoffs. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's what Juliet did. This is the
No,
this is the man that you have the nerve to mention tough. What was that?
tough.
Tough, heart, and
Yeah,
what else? And caring in the same sentence. Did I get it all right?
Yep. Yep.
This is a man that has only had
All
one
right.
really notable season in a pandemic to to help the Knicks get to the playoffs, but yet still he wears number 30 from a man that just he wake up in the morning tough. He ends the game tough.
I'm
He
gonna do something
takes
real quick.
the game. He takes the game. He takes his team to the playoffs. Every time he was here while he was eligible and while he was available to take the team to the playoffs. And that's the guy that you defecate on. Wow, I got my Scrabble stuff going on this morning. Every chance you get. The Knicks are dead, and hopefully these last 16 games, 17 games, or whatever will be the last that we see of Juliet Randle. Now, for my folks in the chat, good morning. For those of you just coming on in, like and subscribe, do all of that, and let's share your
Like
thoughts.
and subscribe.
Yeah, of course, like and subscribe, baby. You know how we got to do. Share your thoughts on Uncle Freezie's delusional behavior, delusional thoughts of a man who is the leader of the team, who can't regain his composure enough to help the team win a game that they were up yet again. Yet again. The common denominator here, Uncle Freezie, every time they've lost the lead, which stems from 28 points to as small as 12 points, he's been a part of the losing. Yeah. Ponder on that. That you ripped up a contract and gave him $117 million.
We not pondering on that mess. Cause everybody that watched the game saw Alec Burks lose the game, and you blaming Randle. This is such an emotional. No, Alex. No, and no, man. Alec Burks lost the game at the free throw line. He was at the free throw line for 2 free throws. He made the first and missed the second free throw that led to a long rebound. Right. On that long rebound that he didn't try to get off of his own miss, right? He didn't try to get that rebound. He watched a guy grab that rebound, and then they pushed the pace. They pushed the pace on that, got in transition. Instead of Burks staying with his man the whole time, he strayed and was in no man's land, trying to cover 2 or 3 guys instead of staying with the hottest dude on the court. And the hottest dude on the court banked in the 3 in his face. And you are blaming Julius Randle. How does that sound?
Yeah, because
sounds ridiculous.
You would rather reach for, and where was her low-hanging fruit? And where was Julius when all of this was happening?
It don't matter. He wasn't there.
And why wasn't he there?
Where was Obi? Why wasn't he there?
How much is Julius?
Where was Derrick Rose? Why wasn't he there?
So these are your favorite players. These are your favorite players, Uncle Freezie. You signed off on all of these guys. Outside of Obi, you signed off on all of these guys. I want to just continually to remind you of that. These are your guys. You were happy when the Knicks gave out early Christmas gifts in August.
Bruh,
you were
blaming Randle. You were blaming Randle for a game that was lost when he wasn't there.
Freezie, he was supposed to be there. He was supposed to be there, Freezie.
Right, like Santa Claus. I got you.
He was supposed to be there. He loses his composure yet again.
Like the Tooth Fairy.
Right, yeah. Yet again, he loses his composure, right? And The Knicks can't look to him to help them win a game they were supposed to win. But you want to blame Alec Burks because he missed the free throw and he wasn't able to get back to guard his man and so forth. I'm just happy all of this happened because our season is over, and I want Knicks fans to realize your delusional thinking and behavior, and which you will continue tomorrow because you'll come up with some fancy headline for tomorrow morning as to what the Knicks are going to do and what happened and what they're not going to do and so forth, instead of getting into reality.
That's what we do. We have a channel, bro. We gotta put out content. That's what we do.
So you have to be
What?
delusional. So you have to be
No.
delusional. And you have the nerve to
No.
be in a New York Knicks shirt this morning. Oh my God.
I'm not gonna blame. I'm not gonna blame Randle when he not there.
Mm, mm, mm.
Come on, bro. You can't blame him when he not there.
You make it sound like he was late for the game. You make it sound like he was late for the game, stuck his toe,
No,
and
oh
couldn't
no,
play
it
it.
wasn't Michael. It wasn't Michael Ray Richardson. Now, it wasn't a Michael Ray Richardson thing. You know, it wasn't a Derrick Rose thing. Nah, it ain't that.
I can't with you, Uncle Freezie. I really can't with you. Because I knew you would come in here this morning with excuses. Because that's what you're good for when these things happen. And they've been happening. What have they won? They've won 3 out of the last 20 games. And each and every time you find an excuse as to why they keep losing, as to why they gave this man $117 million, and as to why he is unable at any point in time to just grab the game and to win it for the Knicks. You'll point the blame at RJ Barrett, which you probably did. You'll point the blame at Obi Toppin. I'm glad you're not home in the studio right now, so therefore you don't have the reach to throw that button on with that silly crying emoji stuff that you like to do. But you will point the blame where the blame shouldn't be. You'll use word like great with Randle, great with Tibbs. I don't think Tibbs has had a stretch like this where his team is 3-3 out of the last 20 games. And they're on a road trip where they're probably going to lose at least 4 out of the 5. And this is who you anoint as great. Great Tibbs, great Randle. Who else is great? Who else?
Come on, hey man, you in this. You in this weird space, bro. I'm not used to seeing you like this, man. What's happening? I
I'm
need to I
happy.
need to pull out the couch.
Yo,
I need to know if I need to pull out the couch because I
so
saw you
I'm
because it's
so
here and
glad
then
you
I saw
picked up
you.
on that last week. So I'm good.
Yeah, because it's here and then I saw you on the other joint too. I was like, this season has AD in a weird place, man. I need to go get him
Yeah.
because we blaming Randle. How you blame a guy for a loss and he ain't even there? That's strange.
Dude. And how was he not there, Freezy? Again, how was he not there? He got put out of
Uh,
the game. He got
right.
put
For
out of the game because a guy slightly bumped him.
no, he didn't. No, he did. The dude pushed him in the back and then said and then because we rated G here. But when Julius Randle turned around, this dude invited Julius Randle to a private part and called him a something.
So
You know what
what?
I'm saying? Now,
So what?
I get it. I know we're supposed to be mature.
So
I know
what?
we're supposed to be mature.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a line that you just can't cross.
And that line
Right?
is more important than the team. You see? And this is what I'm trying to explain to you, Uncle Freezy. They've placed him in a position of leadership to
Right.
lead, to hold on to your faculties in these kinds of moments. You think that's the first time somebody done said that to him during the game to get him off of his game? You think that's the first time
No.
somebody's done something to him to get him off his game? It's not.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
continue, to see moments like this where he falters,
Yep.
when he
Yep.
falters.
And I saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar punch Dan Issel in the mouth in a game, and Kareem is the GOAT. Oh, even you know what? I saw Michael Jordan hit both his hands around Reggie Miller's throat during the game, right? And I know we don't want, and I'm not advocating for violence. What I'm saying is though, people get to a certain point where they not just gonna take a certain thing. And Randle was at that point. Every man has a breaking point, and Randle reached his point. He did it. I'm sure that he regrets that he got to that point, but at the same time, he got there. We all get to that point, man. All of us do. None of us in here, nobody in this chat, and nobody watching this show is a saint. Nobody has been perfect their entire life.
Wah!
Yeah.
Wah!
Yeah. I know.
Attributes of a loser.
No, this is it right here. This is it.
Attributes of a loser.
Right.
Has no composure under pressure. Ball
Right.
dominant. No defense. Right? A
Right.
jumping passer. All of these things that you're talking about is the gumbo, which is Randle. Attributes of a loser. You in the South, you appreciate a good gumbo. That's why you always, roll with Randle. Because he's your gumbo.
No, man.
Attribute of a
I just I
loser.
just I just understand that NBA players are human. That's what I get. And I get the referees are human, the coaches are human. Everybody's gonna make mistakes or do stuff they regret, man. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? So to try to hold this dude to so here's the thing. If Cam Johnson had pushed him in the back and said that thing and Randle did nothing, we would be the same people, you included, would be saying Randle's soft. Randle's
No, no,
soft, man. He let people push us around. Yeah, man. Yep. It's this thing where Randle, whichever option it is against Randle, y'all take it.
no,
That's what we do.
we already know he's soft.
When's the last time you gave Randle props for something?
Last year.
And there we go. And that is what I'm talking about.
Last year.
Yeah.
On his Fugazi season.
Right.
And he reverted back to what? To who he is. You ever go out, you ever go to a restaurant and you get a meal, or a restaurant that you've never been to before, and you order a meal that you and Miss Mocha had it, and y'all come back and y'all like, yo, that meal was great. And it resonates in your mind like all week, and y'all talk about it like, yo, we got to go back there again, right? And then you go back there again, the same meal, probably the same table, probably the same server. They bring it out, and it doesn't get past here. The meal is horrible, right? Y'all go home like, you know what, baby, I need that Pepto-Bismol, right?
Right.
You
And
never
the
go
chicken
back.
tastes like wood.
It tastes like wood, right? You never go back there. You never eat at that place again. You never go back there. Because why? In your mind, you like, we were fooled the first time. We're not going to give it a second chance. We're not. Why are we continually giving Juliet Randle this second, third, fourth chance? Why do you equate him to greatness?
Right, because I'm a real Knicks fan, bro. Right, I understand. So I understand the dude that played power forward before Julius Randle's name was Noah Vonleh. Now I know you love Noah Vonleh. Right? And Isaiah Hicks, right? That's the reason why you're on Julius Randle so hard, because you want Isaiah Hicks back. You want Quincy AC back. You want Kyle O'Quinn back in here, right? Because you're not used to seeing an all-star caliber player at the position, right? I get it. I get it, bro. But with me, I appreciate when players are good. I do, because because before Randle, there were dudes playing his position named Maurice Endower, and I know you love Maurice. I know you like the fact that Maurice Endower hit that game winner against Detroit, so that we missed out on Karl Anthony Towns and wound up getting Porzingis. I know you love stuff like that, bro. But
You're such
I
a
like to see talent
rolling
at the position.
contradiction. You're such a rolling contradiction because you love the guy that played the position before Patrick Ewing, Bill Cartwright,
Yep. Yep.
right? You see
Yep.
where your contradiction is? And who was he in the Knick uniform? A bum.
No, Marcus Camby is a bum. Bill
Marvin Webster,
Cartwright was actually,
a
yeah,
bum.
Marvin Webster was a bum. Yeah, Marvin Webster. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
They called him the human. They called him the human eraser. They should have called him the human check chaser, because he
You
ain't did nothing on the court, but he sure did get paid.
you have your favorites, and one day I need you to come to this reality. Your favorite things, your favorite players are not good for you. It's only causing your blood pressure to go.
Well, I mean, AD. It depends on how you look at it. Like the thing with Randle is I understand that basketball is a 5-man sport on the court and a 15-man sport altogether, right? And just because one guy is better than the other 15 doesn't mean you have to hold him to king status. That's the random thing that the Knicks do. You don't hold him to king status. You
You know what?
understand he's a piece of the puzzle.
You know what I heard Tracy McGrady say last week? He said if I was on this Knick team, they'd be going to the playoffs with this same cast of
Mm,
characters. I would drag them to the
right.
playoffs.
Okay.
Right? That's the mindset of a star. I'm not looking for excuses. I'm not gonna turn around and give thumbs down to the fans. Right? I'm not looking for a way out as to why. I'm looking for solutions. You understand? And I want to be a part of the winning, not a part
Nah,
of the problem.
they not looking for solutions. They not looking for solutions, bro. So for one, Tracy McGrady would come in. If he was on this team, he'd immediately address a position of need, right? Our position of need is not power forward. Our position of need is small forward and point guard, right?
Oh,
Tracy
so
McGrady comes in. He's a playmaking small forward. He automatically addresses a team need. So maybe, yeah, he could drag this team to the playoffs,
so that being
right?
said,
But I mean,
we don't need Randle then.
what?
So that being said, we don't need Randle
What did I miss?
because you said our position, our needs are playmaking, small forward, and a point guard. Randle is neither one
Right.
of those, so we don't need him then.
No, that's not what I said.
You clearly stated that live on the air.
No,
Randall's
I didn't.
a power forward.
You never heard me say
You
no,
said small
no.
forward
Again,
and point guard. You said small forward and point guard. Well,
right,
where we have our needs. Randall's neither
right.
one of those, so we don't need him.
No, wait. See, you adding on to what I said. I never said that. I
I'm
never
helping you
said that we
out.
don't need Randle.
I'm helping you out because you always
No,
leave
don't
these
help
things
me out. You
out.
gotta no, don't help me out. You gotta no. Just listen to what I said. I said that Tracy McGrady
Uh-huh.
addresses a position of need
Right?
because he is a small forward, and the Knicks have positions of need, point guard and small forward, and Tracy
Right.
McGrady is a playmaking small forward. That's it.
Right.
I didn't say none. I didn't say none of that.
So we don't need Randall because he's a power
So
forward.
so a so AD says that we wouldn't need Randle because I never said that.
But that's the obvious. But that's the obvious line here. That's the next step where you need to come to. If you said
No, that's not what I said.
need, right? And if Randall is not in that equation, then you don't need him.
Yeah, no, that's not what I said though.
Thank you for making your own point, Uncle Freezie. Thank you.
But that's what I do. I make my own points. I don't use other people's points, AD. Like
So
my
the
point was
tagline from the show is that The Knicks don't need Julius Randle, according to Uncle Freezie's assessment.
No, no. And no matter how you twist it around and say it, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's what AD is saying.
That's what you were
No,
alluding to, Uncle Freezie.
that is not what I'm alluding to. That's not what I'm alluding to. That's not what I said. I didn't infer
Yeah,
that or any of that. That's what you just made up
certainly
just now.
did. And when you
That's
rewatch
this
that
is.
show,
I feel like I'm talking to.
you would come to
I
that.
feel like I'm talking to Charlie Ward cousin right now. I feel like I'm talking to Charlie Ward
CWC.
cousin right now.
Shout out CWC.
Yeah, no, that's not what I said. And you brought up the fact that Tracy McGrady said that I hadn't heard it, but I'm trusting in what you're saying, and what I'm saying is that if Tracy McGrady was here, a playmaking wing, he could address multiple needs. That's it.
So Randall is not a playmaking wing four. He's just in your eyes. Then he's just He's one of the five.
Well, regardless who plays, who's on the court, they're going to be one of the five. Regardless who we get.
You know, I
Regardless
can.
if we had Michael Jordan, he would still be a part of the starting five.
So he's just one of the guys. He's no more important than anybody else. Doesn't matter that we gave him 117 million. Doesn't matter that he
Yeah.
was second team All NBA last year. It doesn't matter. He's just one of the five.
Right. A piece of the puzzle.
A piece of the puzzle. Nothing special.
Right.
And
A
that's
piece of
why.
yeah.
Yeah,
One of the five.
one of the
I
five.
like how you adding the sauce to the stuff though, but no, not really. Like
I'm gonna
one of
share.
five means one of five.
I got you. He's just one of the five. Nothing special.
Right.
You know, he ain't the salt. He ain't the pepper. He's just the gumbo. He's just part of that. That's it.
He just yeah. He's just one of the five.
I'm,
That's it.
I'm,
Like
I'm good with you.
Giannis, like at the beginning of the game with the Bucks, Giannis is one of five Milwaukee Bucks starters.
Yeah. Let's equate Giannis. Let's equate Julius Randle to a man that had one of the greatest closeout games in the history of the NBA. Because why? He's one of your favorites. So let's do that. Let's see. We've had Kareem, we've had Michael Jordan, we've had Reggie Miller. Now we have gotten to Giannis. In your equation and how you measure Randle, you've mentioned five of the greatest ball players who've ever played this game. Randle is not five of the greatest ball players in his city. He's not one of
Right.
five of the greatest that played in his college team. Okay?
Right.
He's just one of five on the Knicks. I need for you to get there. I really need for you to get there.
I'm confused because I spoke to a point in context, and then you just took the things out of
No,
context.
no, 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 no. But you in order to make your point, you you don't
Hold
go
on,
for
I'm coming. I'm
hanging
gonna go in the
fruit.
studio. Hold on.
In order to make your point, ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't go for hanging fruit. He goes for the grapes of the grape. How is that possible? How is that reasonable? This is my problem with Uncle Freezy day in, day out. That's why I pop in on the morning shows when I hear him say things like Randall and great. It's an average ball player, at best average. And this is a man that I wanted the Knicks to get at some point in time. But him coming here and showing his true colors and who he really is when the times are tough, that somebody can push him in the back, he loses his composure. Someone tells him something about his Johnson or whatever, or according to Uncle Freezy, and he can lose his composure, and we're fine with that. Or at least he's fine with that. Because y'all know how I feel. I want him out of here. Just like I wanted Frank out of here, just like y'all wanted Tim Hardaway Jr. out of here, I want Randall out of here. Him, his family, they can pack up in a nice RV and go where they're going. We won't miss them. He's done as much for this organization, right, as let's say an Amari Stoudemire did. But at least Amari was able to attract talent, right? At least Amari had a pedigree. You can say, look, at once upon a time, he was one of the best players in the league, if not one of the best players at his position. When can you say that about Randle? We find excuses for his deteriorating gameplay every time we come on these airwaves. And no disrespect to to the morning crew and to the other shows. Shout out to all the shows. Nick Freestyle, one-on-one, overnight with Cully, everybody. Shout out to each and everybody. And this is no shot to y'all. And even the other shows around the podcast land. We've got to come to a point where look, to whom much is given, much is required, or much is expected. Whatever you want to use to finish that statement. You can't get thrown out of a game that's that important to your franchise, to your team, to your city, right? And yet still, we'll go look at low-hanging fruit and blame him. Where were you when these things were happening? You were on the sideline. You were in the locker room. You probably were texting your wife or making plans to be out in that Phoenix desert to go do what you're gonna do after the game, right? You're right, Uncle Freezie, when you say that. You know what? This Knicks season has done something to me. You damn right.
Yeah.
I was expecting to be in it, to win it, right, to fight for it, right? I wasn't expecting to come on here every Sunday and start the show, pause, banging up Randle. Right. Eviscerating him. But you know what? But you know what? You're a star. And I heard Iman Shumpert say this yesterday on an old clip on YouTube. He said Melo would take all the bullets. After every game, Melo would sit there and take all the bullets. He said, if I did something wrong, if someone else did something wrong, they would go to Melo and ask Melo about it, and Melo would cover up for everybody, because that's what a leader does.
Yeah, the leader does not make everybody accountable. I got you. They didn't do such and such. It's my fault.
Okay, when have we ever had that from Randle? You asked me a question about him before. I said last season. I'm asking you now. When have we ever had that accountability from out of your guy, Julius, whatever his middle name is, Randle?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. The whole point to all of this is you want to bash Randle, but at least have it be something that's fair. If he took some bad shots and in an inopportune time, then I can dig it. I might join you on it, right? But I'm not gonna blame him for stuff that we know is clear. I'm not gonna join in on hate fest.
Okay.
I mean, that's just me. It's like there are people that absolutely hate John Starks for Game 7. To this day, they still hate Starks, right? And when you ask them, like, there would be no Game 7 if it wasn't for Starks. I don't care. It's what have you done with me lately? Okay, all right. You sound just like the chick that sung that song. You know what I'm saying? You whining about what have you done for me lately, and you sound just like that young teenage chick that sang that song, right? What have you done for me lately? Hey man, yep. And you
Okay,
sound
to your point, to that point right there, hold it right there, right? If if we could trade Julius Randle tomorrow, you think we're gonna miss him?
trade
You
him
think
for what?
you think 20 years from now they're gonna be talks on, wow, maybe we should put that number 30 up just because Julius also wore it. No, no, he hasn't had that impact here for this organization. He had one good season in a pandemic worried environment. No one was in the building.
Right.
Okay. And then this organization, the leadership from the organization panicked and ripped up his old contract and said, you know what? We got to give him this money because, he's definitely going to do it again.
Okay.
Smart
Okay.
business decision.
So they didn't tear up his contract, right? They
You
didn't.
know
Tear-
what I
He
mean.
signed. He
You know
signed.
what I
He
mean.
signed a 3-year deal, a team option for the 3rd year, and that is the year he is in right now. Before they let him walk as a free agent and get nothing for him, they signed him to a team-friendly contract extension. Team-friendly, boy. This dude won't make $30 million next year as the best player. No player on this team will make $30 million. How many teams in the NBA have payroll where nobody is making $30 million?
Who cares?
You
If
care because
you
you keep bringing it up. You care
no,
because
no,
you, 'cause you brought it up.
if you're worth it, you pay that money. He was not worth it. And to that point, the Knicks had his bird rights. Okay? So giving him a deal ahead of time made no sense when he did not show you, he did not give you enough evidence that it was worth it. Everything was, an exaggeration because of the pandemic.
No,
A
no, no,
rush
no.
to judgment. That's the phrase that I wanted to use. A rush to judgment.
Now you know what a rush to judgment was? Using the stretch provision on Joakim Noah. That was a rush to judgment because we are still to this year still paying Joakim Noah. And when's the last time you saw Joakim Noah wear a Knicks uniform?
5 years ago.
Yeah, right. That was a rush to judgment. That was a mistake. Paying Julius Randle before the salary cap goes up was a calculated risk on the Knicks' part, and they won. Right?
They
Because
won.
you're right, because
They
listen,
won.
if Julius Randle had gone to free agency, knowing the salary cap is going to increase in the next two seasons, instead of him getting 117 million, you're looking at upwards of 180 million, right? But the Knicks get him for 117. Yet AD is here saying the Knicks shouldn't have gave him a dime, should have waited to see, and then they would have watched Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle hit free agency at the same time. And bird rights don't mean nothing because y'all have been booing. Randle would have been gone. Randle, he already gave you the thumbs down. He already told you he don't approve of how you acted as a Knicks fan. He already telling you as a Knicks fan, tighten up. What are you doing?
Tighten up.
Yes.
So his play doesn't need tightening up. His jump in the air passes in no man's land to the opponent doesn't mean anything. Him consistently being on the court, blowing leads of, like I said before, of 28, 26, 18, and all these numbers doesn't mean anything. But Knick fans and Knick organization, everything else around him needs to tighten up. But he doesn't need to pull the team, to drag the team. Because why? As you said before, he's 1 of 5. Ain't nothing special. Ain't nothing special about it.
No matter who's no, I didn't say ain't nothing special.
So
Ain't nothing.
you
That's what
add
you
the
mean. That's what you
objection,
mean.
objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, he's
Objection.
1 of 5. If I had the gavel, I would bang it.
Everybody that's Steph Curry is 1 of 5.
Oh my God. Again.
Steph Curry doesn't take on the other team by himself.
God.
He don't.
Mm,
Steph
mm.
Curry goes out there on the floor every time he plays with 4 other people.
Have you seen Steph Curry win games basically by himself?
No, there's no such thing as winning NBA games by yourself.
Because you're taking it so literal.
Right.
When I use that
Because
phrase,
you said $117 million. That's
that's
literal.
right. That's
That's
right.
literal.
That's right.
So the
That's
conversation is literal because you took it there.
okay. All right. So he literally is not worth $117 million.
That's an opinion.
It's all my opinion.
Right.
All my opinion. Right?
Indeed.
So he literally is not worth $117 million. He literally should not be in a conversation with the greats of the greats that you've been mentioning, that you've flagrantly been mentioning. He literally, your mouth, what was that Eddie Murphy movie where he couldn't speak anymore, and every time he spoke, the leaves keep falling off the tree or whatever. That should be you right now when you talk about Julius Randle and Bernard King in the same sentence.
Yeah, this is taken out of context.
Because the moment he got here, the Knicks started going zoop.
Right.
They're playing Philadelphia in the first round, right? They're playing and beating a Detroit team led by Isaiah Thomas, who scores 16 points in 93 seconds, and he has 102-degree fever and 2 splinters on both hands, and he still drops 45 in the deciding game and takes his team to the next round. There wasn't a podcast around at that time or beat writers saying, you know what? Bernard was getting triple teamed, and that's the reason why they couldn't win more than 1 game. Just like how you made all those excuses after Atlanta. Don't you remember when you were in Atlanta, you, Boogie, and everybody, and y'all was proud to represent, and y'all came away with, well, if they added some more firepower and if Atlanta played fair and didn't double team and triple team Julius, he would have done better. Look, I love y'all too much to keep giving you this venom. But when you keep on coming with this Julius Randle, you know what? Call me boa constrictor. Because I will absolutely venomize y'all. Ooh, I just made up a word. I will absolutely venomize y'all to death. That man is not worth being in that jersey, having that number. Okay? He's 1 of 5. That's it. Okay. Nothing special.
All right. Kaiser Sose, thank you for the generous contribution. Kaiser Sose says if Randle was an affordable contract, odds are he would be playing for the Kings, and Halliburton would be in a Knicks uniform instead of Sabonis. And Paris Duggar says, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says AD usually is spot on, but you are going too far. The game against Phoenix wouldn't have been close without him. Randle with a leader would be a all-star.
Paris, you my guy. Paris, you my guy. But again, leaders lead from the front, not from behind.
Yeah, the point I was getting at though is in the Phoenix game, for a fact that Alec Burks lost that game in the last seconds of that game, right? Because the Knicks had the lead, and all Alec Burks had to do was hit free throws, and he didn't. He choked. He didn't grab it. He didn't grab the long rebound that was headed his way. He didn't grab the long rebound. He didn't foul in transition to send Phoenix to the line to hit 2 free throws. Because even if he fouled them and they hit both, guess what? The game is tied and likely headed to overtime. He let the guy come down and hit a 3 in transition, and you are blaming Julius Randle.
I wanna ask you a question. Were you surprised they lost that game?
No.
Okay. Let's move on.
Please.
That's
Please.
all
Yeah,
I got.
let's
Let's
move on because there are culprits in that game that you can blame. You can blame Tibbs for subbing in Fournier instead of keeping Cam Reddish in the game when Cam Reddish could get to the basket at will, and Tibbs took Reddish out of the game and put in Fournier. Or you can blame R.J. Barrett for shooting 6 for 99 in that game. R.J. Barrett looked terrible, right? But R.J. Barrett's name wasn't even mentioned during this whole 45 minutes, right?
Nope.
Right? So that lets me know right there, this is not even about who really lost the game. It's about public enemy number one.
That's fine. I'm good with that.
So, okay. So Marcus Camby is a bust, right? So I looked at the numbers, right?
Yeah, look at his numbers, and you can pull them up. You can pull them up right now because I can tell you the numbers without even looking at them, right? Okay. Marcus Camby in 16 seasons never played a full NBA season. I think he averages something like maybe 60 games, something like that, because he's always injured. Okay, but in that, take away these two points right here. In his worst statistical regular season, he had the most impact on a team to where his play and his presence was vital, which is 1999. And look at him in the playoffs as his numbers and points, as his points and rebounds and block shots go up, up, and up. And another point before you twist the topic your way. In 16 NBA seasons, Marcus Camby averaged 10 or 11 rebounds for 11 seasons out of 16. Okay? Your Honor, now you bang the gavel, and I'm not going to get into the fact that he was NBA Defensive Player of the Year. How many times he was first team All NBA defensive, right? Okay? And how many times he averaged over 3 blocks per game. Okay? So now, you pull out your bust conversation on somebody else. Somebody else.
I want to stay right here in that lane where you at. Right. I want to stay right here in that lane where you at, right? So what I want to say to that is this. All right. What you're saying is accurate about Marcus Camby, right? What you're saying is accurate about Camby, about the rebounding seasons, right? And about whatever he accomplished. All defensive. Let me see him. Marcus Camby was 4 times all defense, 4-time block champ, all rookie and defensive player of the year 1 time. Right? 1-time defensive player of the year. Right? What I'm saying he's a bust is this. Not that he didn't have a productive career. That's not the argument that I'm making. Right? The argument that I'm making about Camby being a bust is in a draft class that featured multiple Hall of Famers. He was drafted ahead of most of them. Right? He was drafted ahead of 3 generational talents. Right? Whereas if Toronto had taken one of those generational talents, they may have won NBA Finals. Okay, that's what I'm getting at, right? So you're looking at a dude that averaged 9 and 9 for his career, and you complain about Mitch.
How is that his fault?
What do you mean? How is that his fault?
How is that his fault? Who drafts him, right? He wasn't the overall number one pick. He was
Of course
number
he wasn't.
2, right? Did he help his team? Did he help his team get? Did he help the 8th seed Knicks get to the finals? Could the Knicks have gotten to? Not only that, could the Knicks have gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back years without Marcus Camby, Uncle Freezie? No, no. Last week, when this conversation first popped up last week, and I'm gonna show you how you're delusional and how you like your favorites. When I mentioned Joe Smith, you quickly grabbed on to Joe Smith like he was your firstborn. No, but I like Joe Smith. No, Joe was. When did Joe help his team get deep in the playoffs? Joe Smith was the overall number 1 pick. Joe Smith was a role player, nowhere near the player Marcus Camby is in his career. But you latch onto him. Why? Because you like Joe Smith. That's it. That's it. No other reason because you like Joe Smith.
So you assume that I dislike Marcus Camby.
You called the man a bust, and you have reasons to call the man a bust.
That don't mean I don't like him. I just think he's a bust for his draft position. I never said I didn't like him as a Knick or as a player or as a person.
Okay, no, we're never getting personal. Well, you're never getting personal. You leave personal. You leave personals to me. You know.
Yeah. I don't do that. Yeah.
I know you don't do that. You're a good wholesome man.
You know? Yeah, I just like to be respectful, man. Because you can't. Because I don't like speaking to. I don't like speaking to stuff that I don't know.
Former 2-time Green Street locker, meat locker champion. Do you got the belt somewhere around there?
No.
Is it hung up in your trophy room somewhere? No.
I can't even find the gloves.
Let me ask you this. Okay. Is Aiden a bust?
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
No, for right now, Aiden's not a bust in your eyes, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Look at his career before CP3 got there, right? 1. Then look at the guys that were drafted in that draft and tell me you would still take Aiden number 1.
No, I would not take Aiden number 1.
Okay. The last time I saw Aiden in anything meaningful was Game 6 against Milwaukee, when the coach, in his Freezie delusional thinking, decided to put him mano a mano against the Freak. The Freak almost ruined that man's career. He's still scoring. He's still rebounding. He's still blocking shots. He's still playing defense all over the court as if Aiden wasn't even there. First meaningful play of that series, Freak comes in with a hyperextended knee that he hurt in the series against the Nets, that we thought possible that he may be out, right? He sucks it up. First game, first big play. Aiden's a big boy, 7'1", 7'2", whatever height he is. He's not New Orleans Noel in body. Freak, one dribble, bang, drops the shoulder in him, and dunks in his mouth.
Okay.
With a bad knee.
Okay.
We never heard from Aiden again the rest of the series. Without CP3 on that team, he's a bust.
Okay.
In my opinion.
All right.
But you want to attribute bust status to a guy that he helped take the Knicks to the precipice of a championship 2 years. played in the Western Conference Finals with Melo in Denver. He's been to the finals, to the conference finals 3 times on 2 different teams.
Okay. So if you're Robert Horry, that means that you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are a good player.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because Big Shot Rob can save the day.
Yeah. For multiple teams.
Multiple teams. And he had.
Right. Okay.
Can you call Big Shot Rob a bust of a ball player?
No.
Was he the best player on any one of his teams? No.
He was 1 of 5.
He won a 5, right? But when the
because
moment
basketball is a team game.
Yeah. But when it breaks down, basketball, like any other team sport, breaks down to moments. When the coach said, you're going to be on the floor in key moments. Why? I can trust this dude.
Right.
I know this dude ain't about to shoot a clanker. It's in his veins. It's the difference between some players, Freezie. Some guys, they don't have the. Look at Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell doesn't have the greatest numbers, but look at him in key moments.
Right.
In his career, he money.
Right. So you're missing my point.
Because your point has more holes than a polka dot shirt.
No, man. No, man. The point of it is not where you because think about this. If Marcus Camby was drafted in the 2nd round and had that same career, we would be saying, "Oh, that's the greatest pick ever." Right? Of course we would. Of course we would. Draft position means something, is what I'm getting at. Right? Toronto, during that time, and here's the irony. Toronto had Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and they needed a point guard. Oh, I'm sorry. That's later. I got 99 and 96 mixed up, right? In 96, they already had a point guard named Damon Stoudemire out of Arizona. But
Right.
if you added, but think about this. If Toronto added Kobe Bryant to Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady, what would that team be? Instead of Marcus Camby, what would that team be?
For me to answer that question, I would then answer that question with another question. If Toronto didn't trade Tracy McGrady, if Toronto didn't alienate Vince Carter, it's a lot of ifs in there, Freezie. It's not fair to the individual player.
Of course, it's not fair because if they drafted Kobe and had Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady backing up Vince until they were ready to play, and then those 3 dudes take the court for Toronto, we would be talking about Toronto potentially winning at least 3 or 4 NBA finals.
You're being unfair.
That's my opinion.
You're being unfair. Like I said,
but what if Toronto drafted Steve Nash?
Yeah, but you're calling Camby a bust because of a team's decision. And yet still, you're not calling Joe Smith a bust, who never had nowhere near the success that Marcus Camby had. This is your contribution that you can't understand.
You keep saying that. Joe Smith is a bust.
Oh, you're finally calling him a bust. Because you never called him a bust before.
No, that's not true. I said Joe Smith is a bust, but I like him though.
It's always that for you. I like him though.
Yeah, I never said that Joe Smith wasn't a bust. I never said Kwame Brown wasn't a bust. I never said Anthony Bennett wasn't a bust. I never said Michael Olowokandi wasn't a bust.
You can't put Marcus Camby in with those guys. You just can't.
I never said Marcus Camby didn't have an accomplished career. What I'm saying is for the numbers that he put up and his accomplishments, and so here's the thing. This is not even something that I thought of. This was something that was brought to me by somebody else.
Yeah, we know your cousin.
And it vexed me. Like, Marcus Camby a bust? Are you crazy? And then I listened to what the person had to say, and they had a legit. They were like legit. What type of dude you pick two is going to be 9-9, and you say he's not a bust?
Okay. Is Yao Ming a bust?
No, Yao Ming is not a bust.
Oh. Yao Ming
Hasheem Thabeet is a bust.
Yao Ming played with Tracy McGrady in Tracy McGrady's prime. All Yao Ming did was have an occasional decent game against Shaq. You have no playoff memories of Yao Ming. He's a 7'6" guy with bad feet. Never dominant at 7'6". You save bust terminology for guys like Sean Bradley, Thabeet, Olowokandi. And it's not their fault that some team fell in love with height.
Yeah.
John Koncak. You know, you way too the way how you and the person who put that bug in your ear. Well, you have 9-9. He's bust.
Yeah.
Numbers lie, Freezie. Like I said,
Yao Ming averaged 19-9. Yeah, there's a difference. One dude averaged 9-9, the other dude averaged 19-9. We're comparing
19-9 in the regular season. Those numbers are empty. Look at his playoff numbers. When do you remember him being the difference in the playoff team? In my eyes, he's not better than Rick Smits. Rick Smits, who was drafted number 2 out of Marist.
Right. Yep.
Right. We have our favorites, and that being said, numbers lie. Because like I said, look at Camby's numbers in his regular season. His worst regular season numbers was the year he helped the Knicks go on a magical ride. I think he averaged like 7.6 points or something like that in the regular season. But all of a sudden he gets to the playoffs and he's one of the top 10 ball players in the game. Immediately. Numbers lie. This is why I never believed in analytics. Because analytics cannot tell you what the eye test can tell you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You talking about the eye test, man?
Could you ever put Yao Ming, let me ask you something, on a pick and roll switch, could you ever tell Yao Ming, jump out on the guard above the 3-point line?
Who does that, though? What center does that now?
But what I'm saying, he doesn't have the ability to do that. You could do that with Marcus Camby because why? He is defensively superior to a Yao Ming.
Now he Bill Russell.
Marcus Camby was playing and on the floor, Marcus Camby was a dominant defensive ball player.
Yeah, no.
He had
a stretch.
Yeah.
He had a stretch where he was really good.
I didn't say for his entire career. In the prime of his career, he was a dominant defensive ball player that you could do things with.
So I don't want to retire Bernard King number. Right. And so the reason is when I go back, and so when I watched it, so I was there during the Bernard King years. I remember seeing Bernard King, man. Bernard King, Bernard King was just, man.
I need some more pulls in the cigar. And I don't even smoke cigars, but You're driving me to addictions. You and this Nick team are driving me to addictions. Oh my God. Mm.
Yeah, but Bernard King, man, just
You're beyond your normal Freezy self.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
Bernard King's team in 1984. Rory Sparrow, Trent Tucker off the bench. I think Tucker might have been a rookie. Darryl Walker, um, Williams, Truck Robinson, Lewis Orr, Cartwright, Ernie Grunfeld off the bench,
yeah.
Marvin Webster off the bench,
Still with the Knicks.
and he dragged that team to a Game 7 loss to the eventual NBA champions. If it wasn't for him getting hurt in a night against the Sacramento Kings, since we're playing the what if game, someone would absolutely find you and knock on your door for real fisticuffs because you're delusional. The love and support that you would give that other guy, I'm not even mentioning his name anymore on this podcast, you don't have for BK from Brooklyn.
Right. But this is not new. This is not I prefer Randle over King. This is not that. My feeling about Bernard King had been about Bernard King since the Michael Ray Richardson trade. This don't even have nothing to do with Randle. Okay? See, that's the thing. We're speaking as if one thing relates to the other. Randle and Bernard King only have one thing in common, or two things in common. They both played for the Knicks, and they both wore 30. That's it. That's it. They don't have things in common.
Your heart is breaking. Your heart broke because the Knicks traded him away, a man that had multiple addictions that you had to worry about if he would show up.
Hey, hold on. Let me show you something. This is what I'm talking about right here. Look at this comment. Look. Freezie a sellout. How you say Randle better than Bernard King? Did you ever hear me say that?
You might as well said it. That's what you meant.
No,
That's what
come
you
on, man.
meant.
Come on, man. You want me just go ahead and end the live stream now, man, and we just start all over? That's what you trying to get to? Come on, man. You ain't never heard me say that. I don't never put words in your mouth like that, ED. Come on, man. That's what we doing today. Hey, come on, man. We putting words in each other's mouth like that. Come on, dog. It ain't even that type of party. You know what I'm saying? This dude say, how you say Randle better than Bernard King? Yeah, ain't nobody never heard me say that. As long as we've been together, you ever heard me say Randle is better than Bernard King?
The fans read you like paper mache.
No, people just make up stuff as they go.
Because
and honestly, it's like it make me do just like Ron Cleveland. Wonder why I even get on here and do this. Why? What's the point?
Man.
Same thing Ron say, man. I may as well just go ahead and shut it down and have everybody go sit in Nick Fan TV chat and get ignored. Go ahead and do that. You want to put words in my mouth, man? Just go ahead. I'll go ahead and shut it down, shut the channel down. Y'all go sit in Nick Fan TV chat and get ignored. I know that's what y'all want.
Did Real King call you a sellout? Oh my God!
Yeah, and listen, I know Real King is joking. The first part I felt like was a joke, right? Like I get that part. You know what I'm saying? That's funny. But saying that Randle is better than Bernard King, come on, AD. Me and you talk real Knicks basketball. You ain't never heard me say that, right? You ain't never. Matter of fact, the thing with Bernard King about being a top 75 player of all time, me and you argue for that, right?
Yes,
but you ain't never heard me say no. Julius Randle is better than Bernard King. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? This is the reason. Yo, this is the reason why people like, yo, what we doing this for? Julius Randle better than Bernard King, man.
Freezie, it sounds like you need a couch right now.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna tell you what I did this morning. I could have legit been out with the missus eating breakfast somewhere at a fancy restaurant or something, spending time with the old lady. But I'm here with the Knicks family, and then to have some man, Randle better than Bernard. Come on, man, really?
Okay.
Yeah, it legit made me wonder why I even do this. What's the point?
It legit makes me wonder why you take so much shots at BK from Flatbush.
Nah, it made me want. Yeah, it made me. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm legit start reconsidering this thing. Maybe what it is too much of me. It's too much.
You take unnecessary shots at a guy that if there ever was a guy that gave his individual matchup nightmares before you played him, was that man.
AD, who? But where do we? Me and you ain't never argue about that. Like you speaking so you speaking to it like as if I said Bernard King ain't that good.
No, but I don't think you've appreciated him enough, and you've shown enough appreciation for him and his contribution to this team, to the legacy.
No, I said I told you the reason why I wasn't feeling Bernard King, right? Okay. Let me ask you this. So why don't I feel Bernard King?
Because they traded Sugar Ray God, his name is skipping me right now. Richardson for who was your favorite ball player.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same reason why I don't like Jim Clemens. It's the reason like I don't like Jim Clemens, right? Because Jim Clemens was traded for Clyde Frazier. Right? Right? But but you never heard me say that Jim Clemens was a bad ball player.
Yeah, but you don't wax poetically about Bernard.
But I don't have to, because the thing about having favorite players is we all have our own favorite player. Right?
Freezie. Okay. You're coming from it from a fan's perspective. Literally from the word fan, phonetic. Okay, where that word comes from. So I guess you're trying to say that you're allowed to be delusional because they traded your favorite ball player. And it doesn't matter that in those games you were up screaming, chanting the next day, arguing with Boston fans like, yo, we taking y'all out. It doesn't matter that happened just because of one guy. Doesn't matter that his performance in old Joe Louis Arena wasn't enough to make you go, you know what? Let me tell y'all about this guy, whose name is Bernard King, some 20 years later. We don't see the appreciation. I don't. Our very first show we had like a whole little segment as to why you didn't think the Knicks should retire his number.
Yeah. This show right here and Friday Knicks Morning Drive show got me thinking, what am I doing? why am I wasting my time?
I don't.
It got me. Yeah, why am I wasting my time, bro?
I don't.
For one, I'm getting word. People are attaching stuff. Randle better than Bernard King.
First of all, man, take down that real King caption. I'm sure there's other captions.
This is what people say. This is what people say. Come on, bro. This is what people say.
We've seen it. Like I said, our very first show we had where you didn't think that the Knicks should retire his number. And I'm like,
right. But it wasn't because he was a bad. Remember my point for that show. You remember my point for that show, right? Why we shouldn't retire his number. It wasn't because he wasn't great. It was because he only played 208 games as a New York Knicks. That was my point. You remember that, right?
Yes.
That was my point. Well, he only played 208 games as a Knick. That was the point. The dude played less than 3 full seasons. You don't retire somebody's number after 2 or 2+ good seasons, right?
His impact. Reggie Jackson played for the Yankees, I think, 4 years. 4 years. And in that 4-year time, he went from being a very good player into the pantheons of some of the greatest ball players who's ever played. Because who he was as a playoff player from the A's, when he said in his press conference that he was bringing his star to the Yankees, and all of those guys, the Guidrys, the late Thurman Monsons, and all those guys who took offense to it, like, what do you mean? None of you guys outside of Catfish Hunter had won anything.
Right.
He knew how to win.
Right.
He knew what it was to be there when the stakes was highest.
Right. But in fairness to Reggie Jackson, man, he got old with the Yankees. Right? He didn't come here as a young fella. He had already won World Series championships with the A's. His first season in professional baseball was with the Kansas City Athletics.
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So that just go back. So, but he got to New York. He was 30, 31-ish. He had already three-peated with the Oakland A's in the early 70s. Trust me, I know they beat the Mets. I know. Right? So the thing I'm getting to about Reggie Jackson, Derek Jeter, Julius Randle, Bernard King, Mark Messier, Joe Namath, all these guys that played in the New York market, right? Is we love them when they're producing, right? But if we ever have a bad turn, New Yorkers want to run them out of town. They are not patient. Run them out of town.
Okay.
Right?
There's something to be said for that. But those guys outside of Randle remain tough-skinned.
Right.
They remain tough-skinned. They didn't then, turn around and then hate the fans or get into an adversarial relationship with the fans. They got into like, okay.
Yeah, he did.
I'll show you.
Derek Jeter wouldn't even speak to fans.
Right.
Derek Jeter maintained when Derek Jeter was cornered, he spoke the company line. The Yankees are great. I tried my best. We fell short. Derek Jeter never gave you personality, right? You know that. You've been around. You lived through the Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter never said the wrong thing. Never did anything disrespectful to the game and none of this stuff. He never showed you anything from himself personally either, right? What I'm getting at the thing with Bernard King, man, just to clarify between you and I know Bernard King is a great NBA player, all-timer, and a great Knick. Where you and I, where our paths go in different directions about Bernard King is retiring his number, right? You feel like he did so much in that short sample size that he should get his number retired. And if his number is retired, I'm like, okay, cool. You just opened the door for others that did the same thing to get their number retired too. So just be fair when it comes to looking at cats like Allen Houston, John Starks, Charles Oakley. You know what I'm saying? Be fair to them, right? But don't say Bernard King and then leave out Allen Houston, right?
No. But he's the topic. But he's the topic of the conversation. Right. If you want to ask about those guys, absolutely.
Right. No, I get it.
You do so much. We're not talking about Amari Stoudemire retiring his number. It's a difference.
Right. It's a difference.
You remember You remember Sunday afternoon, Allen Houston hitting that shot.
Right.
You remember it. You know where you were. You can literally, if you close your eyes, the last 2 minutes of that game will unfold to you like it was yesterday. Because I remember.
Yep, Jamal Mashburn being shooting bricks. I get it. Dan Molly shooting deep threes.
The last 2 minutes of the game, if you remember it, the first play they ran it was for Sprewell. Sprewell is being guarded by Tim Hardaway Sr.
Right.
Tim Hardaway Sr. slaps the ball, and in truth, if they had replay, the ball nicks Sprewell and goes between his legs out of bounds.
Right.
If we want to be honest with it, Van Gundy and them came back and changed the play around because it wasn't for Houston, it was for Sprewell.
Right.
And then Houston gets the ball, goes in the lane, and he shoots a shot that he knows is short, because if you see him after his follow through from the shot, he runs to jump to get the offensive rebound, and then the ball, front rim, back rim goes in. But if you see him in the shot, he's in the shot to try and tip it back in. Then what does he do after the shot? He runs like a madman to the other side of the court, and he throws that fist. You remember that? Yeah. I'll even go you a step further. Larry Johnson is running around the Miami arena, and he's going, "You're going home." He's sending them home. See what I'm saying? Those moments you remember. So those guys that gave you those moments, they deserve what they deserve.
Right. Okay.
They put in the work.
Okay.
Talking about guys who came here who had nondescript careers for 3, 4, 5 years. We're not talking about KP.
Right.
We're talking about the best of the best to put on the uniform. We're not talking about Eddie Curry. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Richards. We're talking about muscle-bound guys who got enormous contracts here that didn't do anything. We're talking about the best of the best. That's all I'm saying. And in his time, he wasn't just one of the best of the Knicks. He's one of the best in the NBA.
Right.
Point blank, period.
Okay.
So I'm gonna need you to get off that couch, and I'm gonna need you to stop questioning. I'm gonna need you to stop questioning why you do this, because you do this because what's on your chest right now?
Yeah, yeah. What I'm saying is not that. It's not that I don't love the Knicks, man. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, and I'll just say this last time, and then I'll move on. What it is we have such a sweet thing, right? What we have is a sweet thing, like nobody has to pay for nothing. We just get here. I mean, I got to pay the bills for the channel and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is it don't cost us nothing for me and you to come here and kick it, right? And then like what we do is fringe and tertiary stuff, like nits, picks at the fringes of it to try to ruin it, right? And but for what? It's the same thing. Like for me, I don't play for the Knicks, and people do that to the Knicks. They ruin their experience by just doing like the constant little, you know what I'm saying? Well, Bernard King wasn't a great 3-point shooter. So what? The man can score. What's the difference between him going and getting 2+1 and him shooting a 3? There is no difference. It's still 3 points. You know what I'm saying? It's the constant, like the little things around the edges. Like Friday morning show, the one that you came on, right? The Friday morning show.
I was only there for 1 minute, mind you.
I know.
So before you blame me for anything, remember that.
No, I know that. I'm not. But listen, you got to hear me out on it. So before you got on, people are cutting each other off with like the most weird things you have ever heard in your life. And I'm like, does a bad season get an adult in a place where they just gotta speak nonsense? And when you say, "Hey, you talking nonsense, come back to planet Earth," they get frustrated with you and say, "Hey, D, he won't let me talk." Really? So that's why. And then when you come on, it's like the breath of fresh air, like somebody coming on with some sense. You know what I'm saying? And then you right, but whatever. Right. So, but my point is, man, the thing about being a Knicks fan is, and the reason why the name of the channel is Lawrence Tears is because we're gonna have tears of joy one day. Most of the time, we have tears of sorrow, and they are blue tears, orange tears, Lawrence Tears. That's what it is. I could have named it something fancy like Knicks all day or something crazy like that. I ain't want to do that because to me, it's not a true tell of what we do here. Like you going in about Bernard King, you passionate about Bernard King, and to be honest, me too, right? But it's just a certain thing. Like if the Knicks didn't trade Michael Ray Richardson and we still got Bernard King, the narrative would be different. You feel me? That's what I'm getting at. Well, if the Knicks had traded Bill Cartwright not Bill Cartwright. If the Knicks had traded Mike Woodson for Bernard King, then I'd have been like, okay.
But Unc, you got to allow fans to be what they are, which is fans.
No, I don't.
Yeah, and hear me out for a second.
I don't owe them nothing.
I no, hold on, because as you said, this is Blanche Tears,
right?
And all our tears are different, but they tears nonetheless.
Right.
You see, we go back a little further than maybe some fans, and there's some fans that go back further than us.
Right.
See, so there's some fans that can tell you I was there when Willis came out of the tunnel. So he had tears of joy.
Right.
Right? Well, that's his first experience of tears of joy. He since now have tears of Lord, of anguish.
Right.
And one fan, you remember that show we had during the course of the week? And I don't want to call him out by name, but I know you remember it, where he was embarrassed when he was having conversations with other fans of other teams because he was a Knicks fan and they would be laughing at him because you're a Knicks fan. So he was embarrassed, not because he was a fan of the team, but because of what was evolving in front of him.
Right.
So he has tears of embarrassment. Right? Our tears are all different, but the common denominator is that they're tears nonetheless, and we are still fans of the team. So, and I get it. Sometimes you put it out there, you don't know who's gonna log in. You don't have a thing where you say, well, only this person, that person can log in. You put it out there for the universe, for everybody to log in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to expect, the outrageous perspective to the perspective that has some reason that you can agree with and disagree with, but still not take it to a point of I don't understand why am I doing this.
Yeah. So that's the thing, AD. The thing about being a Knicks fan, I know it's tough. I talked to my cousin last night, right? He was rubbing it in about the Lakers. I'm like, hey man, y'all trash. He's like, yeah. For how long have y'all been trash? And so I get that part. That's the part I can deal with. That ain't that. That ain't that because ain't nothing but one team gonna win championship every year, regardless. 20 teams can be good, and 10 teams can be terrible, but one team is gonna win the championship. That's it. Ain't no tie for the championship, right? I get it. I get that part.
You mentioned the Lakers. And I'm glad you mentioned him because I wrote down some show notes. Yes, we do prepare for the show, ladies and gentlemen. I wrote down some show notes under moves that we like to see for the off season, and I'm gonna throw the Freezie Molotov cocktail in there because I mentioned this before a couple of months back, and I'm mentioning it again. I believe LeBron James is setting the stage for his exit.
Okay.
He sets his stage for the exit. He's willing to exit. Do you go after him at this stage of his career? That's my question to you.
You got to, bro. If you're available. You got to if you're available.
I had this conversation yesterday, and I said, well, although I have moved past that train and we've done this dance with this man what seems like 20 years now, do you investigate to see if there's an interest? And I said, I went a step further. I said, yo, the whole CAA connection, I put them on notice. Like, you either get us a real conversation with this man and a real possibility, or Clutch Sports is my next best friend. You guys can see your way out of here.
Okay.
I said to me, well, what would you do? I said, I'm doing whatever it would take. Because he's the kind of player, which he's always been, he wants his deck stacked to a certain level in order for him to be happy.
So the thing about LeBron though is because I understand LeBron is not the same player that he once was, right? But what LeBron does is attract talent, and he gets moves made, right? Because we don't get moves made, bro. Our move was Cam Reddish. Our move was we signed another front. Our move was like we got 1,000 front office people trying to make a decision. So the best move is to bring in another front office person.
Yes.
We've been on Gerson Rosas. LeBron, however, gets you Anthony Davis's, Chris Bosh's, Ray Allen's. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Love's. And the Knicks organization, even with a ton of money, even with a ton of money, can't get Julius Randle. That's it.
Next question. Do you let this leadership go in the offseason?
What's the team goal?
It's to win a championship.
No, I mean for next season. What's the team goal for next season?
To win a championship.
Well, you got to keep them then.
Wow. Yep. I can't put championship and this management in the same sentence. It hurts my stomach.
Right. But first year organizations don't win championships.
They're not first year.
No. If you fire them and bring in somebody new, they would be first year, is what I'm getting at. So if your goal is to win a championship next year and you bring in, if you clean house and bring in a new front office, they're not going to win it in their first year. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, I feel you to that point. But if you are making the necessary moves to win that championship, your fan base will understand, even if you didn't win it. You see what I'm saying? This has always been my thing with this leadership, and we talked about this before. And although it didn't seem like a big deal back then, it was a big deal. When you have a new head of the organization that does not talk to the fan base at just to the very essence of how they see basketball, their basketball philosophy, you see, to kind of bring along the fan base so the fan base can understand if you make a mistake here or you make a mistake there, because you've already spoken to them. They know how important it is for you to win a championship. That you know how important it is for us to win a championship. So if you brought in a whole new management staff and they talk to the fans like, look, we're gonna scorch the earth. We're gonna look for everything, for any player possible to add to that. What we're trying to do is to win a championship. The fan base would understand.
I disagree slightly. I think if you were to um, trade the whole kit and caboodle, the kit and the caboodle for a young franchise generational talent, and then build around him slowly with draft picks and key free agents, I think that they can understand. Because they could point to one player and say, well, at least we have a piece, at least we're trying. Right? But say for instance, the goal is to win a championship next year, and you go out and get Malcolm Brogdon to play point and Miles Turner to play center, and you roll out a lineup of Brogdon, Fournier, RJ, Randle, Turner, right? And then you add some pieces to your bench to make a playoff run. You're not fooling anybody with those short-term moves, right? That's like signing. That's like when we signed Chris Childs away from the Nets, right? Chris Childs was 28 years old when we signed him from the Nets, and the Knicks was PR was talking about young core. Remember that? Chris Childs ain't young. His last name Childs, but he ain't no child. Chris Childs was 27, 28 years old. He was just unknown. But being unknown don't make you young, right? What I would say, just bear with me on it because this ain't gonna be perfect. But just understand my reasoning.
I'm there with you.
The say that if the Knicks trade Fournier, Burks, Randle, Noel, Rose, a bunch of first round picks for Zion, right?
Yeah.
So you have Zion here, right? Or Zion type player, whether it be Zion, whether it be whoever, Jason Tatum, or whoever, just some young stud player, right?
Gotcha.
You go with RJ Barrett, and you still have draft picks left, right? You could see RJ and that other young player going. Say it's DeJounte Murray, RJ and DeJounte Murray. You know what I'm saying? You trade away some pieces to get DeJounte Murray, right? You could see the Knicks building towards something, so we're more likely to be patient, like we were during the Bernard King years, right? Because Bernard King was a flat-out scorer, and around him were young pieces trying to find Darryl Walker and them. All of them got Lewis All was like in his fourth year. All these dudes were young pieces trying to find their way with Bernard King. So we were more likely to be patient with Bernard King and his young core because we knew we were trying to build towards something, right? That's one of the reasons why we love that short Bernard King era, because we were young, right? We were young, and we had somebody we knew that was a generational talent. Now we don't have a generational talent. And this is the reason why a lot of people beef with Julius Randle, because he is in that generational talent role when he's not even the best talent maybe in his conference right now. Right? Right. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. My point is that's why we get frustrated, right? So when you ask me the question, about what I would prefer is for the Knicks to go out and get the generational talent. Because during our best years, we had a player that was not only one of the best at his position, but one of the best in the game, period. Like in the 90s, it was Pat Ewing. In the 70s, it was Clyde Frazier, Willis Reed, right? In the 80s, it was Bernard King for 208 games, right? Anything, even Melo, when Melo was here, right? Generational talent. But all the peripheral years, the tertiary years, we had guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., Zach Randolph, David Lee, right? It's one of the reasons why we were losing because we didn't have a generational talent. So what I would do is go get the generational talent. I don't care what it costs. Go get it. Bring it here because it's not going to come on its own. You got to go hunting. You can't go fishing. You got to go hunt. You got to go get it. It's not going to come here on its own.
Now, you say go get it at whatever cost.
Right.
Are you willing to move RJ in that scenario? Because that's probably what it's going to take.
For what player am I getting?
All right. Let's say for argument's sake, Mitchell.
No.
You're not moving RJ in that.
No.
Then you're not willing to do whatever it takes to get you better than what you have.
Right. Right.
You see, when I brought up that, I think I brought up this point on another, it might have been in the morning or something. I can't remember where. When they lost out on Halliburton. And I thought about it that day. And one of the persons that I trust, I was talking to them earlier that day, and I was like, look, you wouldn't have moved RJ for Halliburton?
No.
Scoffing. No. I said, well, what have we been lacking since, if you want to say Marbury or since Mark Jackson and so forth? We've lacked the point guard.
Right.
The point guard, outside of you having a dominant generational talent someplace else, is the most important position. Is he not that? Can you not see yourself building with him, getting another shooting guard, getting another small forward, if you at least got that piece locked down?
Would you trade for Damian Lillard?
Yes, I would.
Me too.
No question. And I said
I'm changing my stance too. As this season played out and how abysmal we were at point guard, yes, I would trade for Damian Lillard. Hell yeah.
Lord, praise him. Praise him. He has finally seen the light. He has finally had his come to Jesus moment.
Right. Well, all I need to do was see Quickly do it for 50 games. Quickly is not Damian Lillard.
Not a point guard. And that's no slight on him. It's just that's not your most effective role.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
You need, and again, you need stars.
Yeah.
Or something slightly less than the star. That's what you're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of move you need to make. You need to go out there and upset the apple cart. Literally, come out here with your management team and really look at this and talk about this. And look, where are we going? You know, I know I fun and I kid, and I'm outworldly serious when I want to move Randle. But you really have to look at them and say, well, is this a piece to a deep playoff run into the playoffs? You really got to ask yourself that question, Nick management.
Right.
Because when the going, you don't want a guy when the going gets tough, the tough get out the door. When the going gets tough, I need you tougher. I need you mean.
Billy Ocean, when the going get tough, the
Yeah.
tough get going. Yeah.
I don't need you losing your composure. Looking for a way out.
I
Like
saw
I said,
Charles Oakley slap Charles Barkley in a game. And then I saw the same season, Charles Barkley after tip off, they had the free throw line, Charles Oakley step across and slap Oakley.
yes.
Without being prompted. It was just like, I told you I was gonna get you back. What?
Yeah.
I get it.
But you have to get those kind of guys in order to start the process. Start trying to go where you say you're trying to go. And stop with this nonsense. Stop trading your jewel pieces for, gosh, I don't even want to call his name. For him, a bucket of fries, some wings, and a couple of draft picks. And then you're gonna look at it 2-3 years later and say, well, we got quickly out of that. You didn't trade your gem KP for quickly.
Right.
If you told the owner that that's what you were trying to do, he would have gladly fired you. He would have gladly removed you from his payroll.
Right.
Because that would be asinine. The man didn't come on, national radio telling people how comfortable he was and how assured he was. This is the words the man used. He was assured that they were going to have a great free agent offseason.
Right. Right.
And now what do you have? You got zealots and snitches that are out here supposed to be my man. That's Tibbs' fault right there.
Yeah, you got money changes in the temple, bro.
Yeah, got money changes in the temple.
That's what you got, bro.
They trying to hold on to their survival so bad they willing to give up the people who's supposed to be your mans in them.
Right.
That's what you got. And so when I say you have to clean house with this, you have to. Where did that come from? This was 20 games ago they made that story leaked. They weren't even as bad.
Right.
Now they're worse. So what is he saying to the owner now? I told you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's exactly what he's doing right now. I told you. He didn't know how much timeouts we had in one game. He didn't tell the players to make that foul in case anybody goes to the free throw line and miss a free throw. He didn't do none of that.
Right.
He wasn't able to calm Randle down in those key moments. You can't win like that. It's a reason why Eric Spoelstra is going to be the coach of Miami until he's old and gray.
Right.
They groomed him for that. They groomed him because why? Keep his composure. Can still garner respect from the team while the team goes through transition. Look what they do. You're trading KP. They're trading for Jimmy Butler off of a team that was on the cusp of going to the championship.
Right.
So they took advantage of a foolish Philly team that decided to keep what's my man? The forward Tobias Harris and let Jimmy Butler go.
Yeah.
And then Butler does what? Fits in seamlessly in the basketball philosophy that Miami has. And they built around him ever since. So he's been there now, going on 3 years?
Right. Yep.
And he's made a finals appearance with them. That's how you win. Consistency, knowing what kind of players are going to fit in your basketball philosophy, but being willing to shake it up at any moment in time for the sake of winning.
Right.
Then what you do? You add a Lowry, you add a PJ Tucker. Winners. These are guys who won recent championships.
Right.
You don't go out and get guys who've only had one half a season of meaningful basketball.
I know.
How do you sell that to your fan base? So here comes the infighting. Because I've said this before again and again. You can't tell me that Tibbs signed off on that he wanted that guy, or that he wanted Kemba. Can't tell me he wanted these two guys. They can't defend.
Right. Right.
And we don't know what the team thinks overall, because what management has never told us about their basketball philosophy and how they see things. We have no idea.
Now, Uncle Fulio said they did. Uncle Fulio said they did.
Yeah, exactly. Would you listen to a man that goes by the name of Fulio?
Yeah.
And that's my man. So shout out to Uncle Fulio. You know, no disrespect. But he himself delusional. 2 months ago, he was telling people that Julius was suffering from postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Yes, because a 6'9" man can now carry babies.
Yeah. Yo, so we ran out of time, bro. Man, y'all hit the like button. Y'all know y'all like AD. Man, support the channel. Y'all sitting there looking at the like button right there by your hand. You looking at AD, y'all act like AD ain't what AD doing ain't dope. Come on, man.
And I love y'all. I'm a Knicks fan until they take me out of this. But at some point in time, you know, Freezie, the saying that the sun shines on a dog's ass at some point in time, it gotta shine on us at some point.
Yeah. But we're not patient though. So we'll turn into a cat first before we wait on the sunshine. That's what Knicks fans do. Anyway, let's get out of here, man. Let me do some posts. Let me do some production for NBA 101. They'll be on today at 4:00.
Shout out to my guys, NBA 101, Staffer, Soulfinger, you know, and all Knicks content.
Hey, when they want you to come on NBA 101, why are you dodging them?
I haven't gotten an invitation.
Nah, well, we'll make it official. You're officially invited to the show. I think they wanted to have you on last week.
No,
I think they open to have you on this week. Are you in that group thread?
I am, but I don't think I got that word. I didn't get that word.
Yeah, Staffer Don. Come on, Staffer.
Let's talk. Let's chop up this NBA.
Yeah,
you know, and you know, again,
because I heard on Ron's show, still Knicks fans, that Karl Malone wouldn't have been as great without John Stockton. And I wanted to challenge you on that, but on an NBA show.
Who said that?
You got to go watch the show.
There's so many shows and contents. I try and pop in. I legitimately, Freezie, when I'm not in the man cave and I'm out and about, in my car, it doesn't matter what time of the day, I search for not only this platform, but other platforms. So I'm always listening to Nick shows.
Right.
So I'm a true supporter in the most way. But
right.
If I'd heard that, I would have definitely tried to pop on, because that right there is blasphemous.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But salute to you, Mr. Freezie. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Salute y'all.
Absolutely. Knicks family for life. You already know what it is. Just shout me out.
Yeah, man. Hey, we out of here, y'all. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.